Sorry, I'm stuttering a little bit. Sometimes I do, just like Joe Biden, but it's okay. Everyone makes mistakes, but yeah, today we're talking about, is Trump deporting American citizens? Well, short answer is no, because no American citizen has been deported yet that was actually born here and didn't have a green card. And second off, yeah, that's pretty much the answer. I don't have anything actually to say for the second off. Second off, Abrego Garcia was not a United States citizen. He was a green card holder, which is very much different. They don't get the same process. And I have the entire laws and the immigration statutes. As a green card holder or as a visa holder, all you do is have to be suspected of, or not even suspected, you have to be a concern of national security or a concern that you are involved with a terrorist organization. You don't have to be found guilty. You don't have to be anything. I'm going to make a whole video about this soon and link the immigration statutes. So the only trial, quote unquote, he was never going to get a trial. He was only supposed to get an immigration hearing. He was never going to get a trial to fight these charges off. He was only going to get an immigration hearing. But the only immigration hearing he was ever going to have was supposed to happen, and that's why Trump's administration apologized and said they would take him back to have his immigration hearing. But the president of El Salvador does not want that to happen because he deems this man part of a terrorist organization, and he locks those people up in his country. So it is what it is, I guess. People want to blame Trump and say due process, he should go to trial. He was never going to go to trial in the first place. He was going to go to an immigration hearing. He's not a United States citizen. We don't have to find him guilty. So that's not exactly how it works, unfortunately. And if the Democrats don't like it, maybe they should change the immigration law, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Definitely not with Trump under president. If the immigration law was changed and all these people had to go through a regular trial to be found guilty or innocent, that would take years and years. Luckily, the immigration statute does not say that. I'm not a lawyer, but I can read with my own two eyes. And sure, people are supposed to, lawyers are supposed to argue the meaning of the statutes and argue the meaning of the law and stuff like that. That's a lawyer's job. They're not supposed to agree with everything that everyone says. They're supposed to argue for their clients, and the immigration lawyers are supposed to argue for the immigrants and stuff like that. But I can read what the statute says too. Abrego Garcia never had to be convicted of doing a crime or convicted of being a gang member. That's not what the immigration statute says. The immigration statute says that he has to be a concern for organized crime, stuttering like Joe Biden again, or a concern for public safety, which in my opinion, considering he has allegations of beating his wife, I think he is a little bit of a concern for public safety. And those allegations were from his own wife, and she made multiple court records on it and multiple statements about it. We have the audio messages about it. So I think he's both a concern for public safety and a concern for organized crime. And considering that he doesn't have to be found guilty of either of those to have his green card or visa revoked, he was revoked. He was deported rightfully, but Trump's administration admitted he should have had an immigration hearing. But an immigration hearing wouldn't have helped him because he doesn't have to be found guilty, or he doesn't have to be found or convicted of any crimes. All he has to do is be a concern for public safety and a concern for organized crime, which he was, both of those things at once. So either way, even if he had his hearing, it wouldn't have changed anything unless it was a corrupt judge that just ignored all the facts. But even then, I think he still would have been deported. It really makes no difference. But hit the like and subscribe button. If anyone has any different opinions on the whole Abrego Garcia thing, I would love to have a debate about it. I would love to have a debate about Elon Musk's Doge and stuff like that. And yeah, I think it would be a good debate. But I said this a million times before. Trump has not deported any American citizens. No one can name one single American citizen that Trump's deported because it's not true. But if anyone wants to debate about it, my Discord is in the link in the bio. And the next live stream I do, we can set it up. but I read the immigration statutes. Most Democrats think that this dude was gonna go to trial, fight his case, prove that he's not a gang member. No, that's not the process that he missed. The process that he didn't go through was the immigration hearing. It wasn't a due process like every other American citizen. That's not what he had as a green card holder and as a visa holder. That's not what he had. The thing that he was gonna get was a hearing, an immigration hearing, but he would have still been deported because, like I said, you don't need to be found guilty of a crime or of organized gang activities. You don't have to be found guilty of it to be deported. You just have to be a concern for public safety, pretty much, and you can get deported. That's how easy it is. All the immigrants know when they sign their visa, when they come in legally, Abrego Garcia didn't even come in legally, so he wouldn't know this law. But when you come in legally, they tell you all the things that it can get revoked for, and pretty much they can revoke your visa and green card for almost anything, pretty much. Other than being an outstanding citizen and not being involved with any organized crimes or any stuff like that, or any gang tattoos. If he would have never surrounded himself with all these crazy people, I mean, what is it called? The arrest footage came out where he got pulled over and searched, and the cops even said, "Oh, this man looks like he's human trafficking." I mean, how much more concern for public safety do you need? I saw CNN try to clip it up and only post like a minute or two long clip of it. You got to see the full arrest stop. The full arrest stop of Abrego Garcia when he was getting pulled over. Yeah, sure, if you have a smart, intelligent, intellectual question, I'll answer it. You guys never have to ask me if I want to answer a question. You can just spam my comments or spam and I'll answer it if it's a good question. But if it's trolling or something stupid, probably not. If it's a serious question, yeah, I'll answer it. Well, what do you mean the recent crash? You said crash as in stock market crash. If you're talking about the stock market, it's already rebounding significantly because of the pause of the tariff. So the stock market itself is rebounding quite heavily right now. I don't know if you watch the markets daily like I do, but I watch the markets pretty much every single day, and all the stocks are getting pretty much high up on the thing. I think officers should use their nightsticks more often. Do you agree? Not really. Nightsticks can't stop criminals. And most officers are a lot smaller than criminals. I hate to say it, but I don't think the police should be hiring 5'2" woman to stop a criminal. Like, how is a 5'2" woman gonna stop a man with a nightstick? Like, she's not gonna be able to stop a man with a nightstick. If she hit someone my size with a nightstick and I was running from her and she was 5'2", I can grab her nightstick and probably throw her entire body with one hand. So, considering I would be over a foot taller than her. She's 5'2", I'm 6'5". In that case, do you believe the tariffs were a bad idea in the first place, considering that you have credited the rebound in the stock market to the pause on tariffs? Well, first off, if we're talking about the stock market, the tariffs actually gave us a really good buying opportunity. I mean, I know all these Democrats want to ignore the facts because they don't know about the stock market. You make the most profits when the market's at yearly lows or at a couple year lows. You don't make the most profits buying at all-time highs. So when you buy at lows like during the tariffs, you can make quite a bit of money. And no, I don't believe just because the tariffs crashed the market for a week or two that we should have never had the tariffs. We can't just let these other countries tariff us to death and not give us free trade while we give them free trade. That makes no sense. I appreciate you, Onyx. You always come into every single one of my live streams, comment on every single one of my videos. You must have spent hours on me already. I really appreciate it. You're helping my channel grow in the algorithm and stuff like that. More comments and more viewers, that always helps my algorithm. But no, to answer your question about tariffs, We need fair trade for the United States. We can't let these other countries put tariffs on us first and just not do anything about it. That would make us a bunch of pushovers. And I'm not for that. If the stock market or the business market has to, thank you, I love clipping your bid. I don't know what you mean by clipping. I don't think you're clipping anything or reposting or editing my video clips at all. I don't know what you mean by clipping or dropping comments. No one really cares what you got to say. Because my live streams, you can check them for yourself. They get 30 or 40,000 people on them total of everyone joining in. And no one really cares what you have to say. That's why I have a channel and you don't. Well, I'm glad you appreciate it. You can get back to watching CNN anytime you want. Well, Justin, you look like you're 10. The markets always recover. Great point. Tariffs are always needed to even the playing field. Absolutely. Tariffs are needed. I think that's the most asked about topic besides Abrego Garcia is the tariffs. Well, we're talking about tariffs and we're also talking about immigration. I was not deported. That was a joke. You can't take a joke, buddy. I would never be deported because if I was in a country where they didn't want me to and they gave me a deportation order or they told me to leave, I would just leave. That's the difference between me and Abrego Garcia. So I guess, you know, one of us is a criminal and one of us is not. I didn't lie. It was a joke and someone commented it. Send all the illegals homes. Lots of people support tariffs, not just me. The leaked audio of the wife says it all. Thank you. Not to mention his recent arrest that was recorded and reposted. Absolutely, I'm MAGA. Should I put on the hat? Does that answer your question? Abrego Garcia, not Diego Garcia. Who the hell is Diego Garcia? Well, first off, they only want to send the violent criminals to El Salvador. This is a MAGA country. Anti-Semitism applies Jewish hate. And I don't really know what laws you're suggesting that. If you're asking if I think that college students should be able to protest and waste people's times and riot and cause violence and wish violence and hate speech against others, then I don't 100% know. That's a complicated topic. That is not true. Most are not innocent that are sent to El Salvador. I don't know if you're talking about within the country or without the country, but within the country of El Salvador, about 95 to 98% of all the people they capture are actually criminals, and they've let about 2 to 3% of them go that weren't actually criminals. Well, talking about rights as a non-citizen, I'm going to post an entire video about this soon. Believe it or not, green card holders and visa holders, they do not have to be found guilty or convicted of a crime to be deported. All they have to be is a concern for public safety or a concern of involvement with a terrorist organization. Not even reasonable suspicion, just a concern. So they don't have the same rights to go to trial. The only thing that Abrego Garcia was missing was his immigration hearing. He was never going to go to trial to fight these charges. He was going to have an immigration hearing to find out if he was going to get deported or not. And honestly, he was going to get deported regardless. But that's why Trump's administration said that they would take Abrego Garcia back into the country for a quick immigration hearing. But unfortunately, the president of El Salvador had different plans. But if anyone wants to debate me about this topic, I'm going to make a whole video about it, and I'm going to show all the immigration statutes, and I'm going to show the law that was written, and you guys can figure it out yourself. For all the uneducated people that think he was going to go to trial and fight all of his different charges, which he was never going to because he doesn't have to. You don't have to be found convicted of any crimes to be deported. Flo, I never heard of a case like that in my life. His charges of being in a gang, like the RICO Act. You never heard of RICO before? That's pretty much what kind of charge he would have been facing if he would have stayed in the United States. Well, if you want to link us to it, or if you want to join my Discord and spread the information that you got and let us know and educate us, you're welcome to. But I can't watch every single story on the news 24/7. I'm not sitting at home most of the day watching CNN, so I really wouldn't know about all these stories. But I just know no American citizens have been deported. Assaulting his wife. He was assaulting his wife. His wife said it herself. I just told you a RICO charge, an organized crime charge, is a criminal charge, but I guess you don't know the basics of the law in the United States. You don't even know what's a crime and what's not a crime. I just explained to you, they do have a right to a deportation hearing, but they don't have a right to be found convicted or not. If they're concerned for public safety, if they're concerned for if they're concerned of being involved with an organized crime, they can be deported. They don't have to be found convicted. I'm going to show the entire statute and immigration law on my next video, so be on the watch out for my next video. I'm sorry the truth annoys you. That's unfortunate. You can go live in a different country other than the United States if you don't like it, because Trump is your president for the next 3 years and 8 or 7 months-ish, around then. How do you know where I am? I'm an American citizen. You have no idea where I'm at right now, and it's none of your business. They have a right to get deported. Thank you. Happy Cinco de Mayo to everyone, though. Hit the like and subscribe button. If you think Donald Trump is Hitler, then why wouldn't you run out of the country and try to escape like the Jews did? Maybe it's because you truly don't believe what you're saying. Cool, the NSA can spy on me all they want. I'm sure some other government organizations are spying on me too. I have nothing to hide. Hey, thank you, man. Happy Cinco de Mayo. He never got legal status. He got a, what's the word for it? He got a temporary hold or something like that. Something in the word was temporary, which if the Democrats don't know what the word temporary means, that means it's not forever. To be fair, I don't know anything about his charges in El Salvador, and I tried to research them and I found nothing. But either way, he broke the law multiple times in the United States by entering illegally. Brianna, I just explained the process that he has. He doesn't have a quote-unquote due process. The only process that he was missing was an immigration hearing, which would not have changed the outcome at all, considering he doesn't have to be found guilty or convicted of any crime whatsoever. All he has to do is be a concern for public safety or a concern of being part of an organized criminal group, which he was both of those things. So the judge or whoever would have found him deportation, they would have said, regardless. Yeah, I just told you the court proceedings that he would have had was an immigration hearing. He would have not had to gone to trial and fought these cases. That's not how the immigration law works. Brianna, subscribe to my channel if you really want me to explain the whole thing. I'm going to release a video later today reading the immigration law statute by statute, explaining where it exactly says that he does not have to be found guilty or convicted of a crime to be deported. It's just simply not in the immigration statute. Now, the thing that is in the immigration statute is going to a judicial hearing about being deported or not being deported. That's exactly why the Trump administration said that they would fly him back in one of their jets back into the United States. But the president of El Salvador said, no, I don't want to do that. He's a criminal, he's in a gang, and we don't want to do that. So they didn't give Trump the option to do that. Hello, Waffle. How are you, buddy? I'm just explaining to these folks that the due process was never going to happen because the only thing that he was due was an immigration hearing, and he never had to be found guilty or convicted of any crime to be deported. All he had to have is reasonable safety concerns for the public or a reasonable concern of being involved in an organized crime. It's all in the immigration statute. I'm going to read it line by line. I'm going to post a whole video about it explaining it. Yes, that man should have been deported. Otherwise, Riley wouldn't be dead. Absolutely. What tough task have I given myself, Waffle? Why do we want an MS-13 member back in our country, not to mention he's a wife beater? Yes, I'm a Trump supporter. Does this answer your question? Florida man, I'm from Florida. What losing war am I fighting? I'm winning this war. I've won every single debate against every single Democrat, every single communist, every single everything. I've beat them all. I'm always up for debates. If anyone wants to debate me on Trump's policy, then join my Discord or message me on Twitter. We can set up the debate. Most of the liberals, most of the Democrats are too stupid and too scared to debate me. MAGA forever. Captain Blackbird, I didn't see your question. Oh, there you go. This is my channel, first off, and second off, I didn't remove any comments about Diddy. Maybe that was YouTube. It's literally a fact that he wasn't MS-13. Wrong. Two intelligence agencies of two different countries said that he's an MS-13 member. So what do you not understand? Both the El Salvadorian Intelligence Agency and our Homeland Security of the United States have deemed him an MS-13 member. Also, a local police force even deemed him an MS-13 member. So technically, 3 different law enforcement agencies have deemed him an MS-13 member. Plus, he has MS-13 member tattoos on his knuckles. Plus, he got arrested with MS-13 members. Abrego Garcia is never coming back. It's not a Photoshop. I have a whole video breaking it down on my YouTube channel. Check it out. It's exposing the truth about his tattoos, proving that they're real. There's no denying it anymore. You just believe whatever the media tells you. Hit the like and subscribe button, though. Help save the UK. Save our kids, absolutely. Unfortunately, the UK has a lot of... I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but London is now ran by a Muslim mayor, and Muslims do not align with Western values, if we're going to be honest. But I have friends that are Muslim. I'm just being honest here. Abrego is not dead. He's in a low-security prison. He got transferred from the high-security prison. I love these glasses. If they're going to say not these glasses, I'm going to keep them on. because I love pissing people off. This was even a discussion. He's obviously a gang member. I mean, these people think they know more than the United States Intelligence Agency and Homeland Security. That is hilarious. That just shows you how smart they think they are. They think they know more than 2 intelligence agency and a local police. Hey, I'll collaborate with anyone. I'll debate anyone. You just got to join my Discord and we can talk. I'm always open to talk and chat with anyone, one-on-one or in the group chat. Hi, Violet. Fago. Hell no, I'm a Christian man. I'm not a Scientologist. Actually, the cops determined themselves that he was an MS-13 member. Actually, he's not in CSOT anymore. He's in a low security prison in El Salvador. He got moved from there like a couple weeks ago, so he's not in that horrible prison anymore. But either way, he's in El Salvador in a prison, so... Shout out Tampa Bay, Florida boy here. I'm gonna go back inside because they're cutting the lawn outside. Hit the like and subscribe button though, guys. Hey, Jacksonville, Florida checking in. I'm from Southwest Florida, Fort Myers area. We got hit hard by the hurricane. Yes, sir. Christian here. Shout out Connecticut. Shout out Dallas. Love me, Texas. Shout out Sarasota. I love Sarasota, brother. Hope you're having a great morning. If you're new to the channel, smash the like and subscribe button. New Orleans. Shout out New Orleans. How do you define a woman, David? You want me to define Christian. How do you define a woman? Hi from the UK. Shout out UK. Shout out Australia. Shout out Chicago. I got a good friend that I was hanging out with from Chicago yesterday. Peace out, Florida man. Have a good day at work. Bronx Republican. Shout out the Bronx. I want the new governor of Florida. What's his name? Always forget the guy, but he's a New York guy, but he's running for governor of Florida in 2026. Black guy. I don't know if you guys know who I'm talking about. I think he would be better than Ron DeSantis, to be honest. Brian something. You don't have a definition of a woman, David? You can't tell us what's a woman? Huh. I think I know what political party you're a part of. Well, considering I live on the beautiful water, I think I can wear sunglasses inside. And I have the beautiful ocean from every view of my windows and the beautiful sun from every view of my windows. So you wouldn't know what that's like in your mother's basement and it's kind of dark. Well, a murder is a little bit different than a deportation. I'm just saying you don't have to have a trial to be deported. Like, it's facts. Action Man 7. Hey, that's hella interesting, actually. I've been watching that man's interviews. Robin Hood. You need a hearing. That's not the same thing as a criminal trial. You need a deportation hearing. It's not the same thing as a criminal trial, though. You don't have to be found guilty of any crimes. David, how do you define a woman? You can't tell me because you're a Democrat. He had a temporary hold in the country. He didn't have legal status. That's completely different. And also, green card holders and visa holders, they don't get a trial. They don't have to be found guilty or convicted of any crimes to be deported. I'm going to make an entire video about this explaining it. The only thing that he was due was an immigration hearing of if he was going to get deported, which he was going to get deported regardless because you don't have to be found guilty. You don't even have to have a reasonable suspicion. You just have to be a concern for public safety and a concern for being a part of a terrorist organization, which he was. I'm sorry to say that, Lucas, you will be deported soon. You should self-deport yourself. I'm not trans, weirdo. You wish I was, because then you would love me because you're a Democrat. Well, I came here, every country I lived in legally, and I would never be deported because if they told me to leave a country when I visited it or stayed there, I would. Shout out Norway, but they have a lot of problems too. David doesn't want to say what a woman is. He doesn't know. He's never felt a woman's touch. Hey, the exact reason I'm not taking these glasses off is because it's helping the algorithm. You guys love talking about them. The more you talk about it, the more views come, the more subscribers, the more supporters. I appreciate all my supporters. Smash the like and subscribe button. Trump is a king. Deport aliens. Deport aliens. If you don't like my voice, you don't have to listen to me. Leave. Just like if you don't like America and you don't like the country, you can leave. You don't have to sub to me. I already have almost 4,000 subscribers. I'm not begging anyone, but if you want to support my channel and you want to support what I have to say, I would really appreciate it. You can hit the like and subscribe button. It would mean a lot. But if you're going to be a hater, you don't have to. Hey, I appreciate you. I know I don't look trans. I know exactly how good I look. And thank you for telling me I'm doing an amazing job, brother. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna pin your comment. I don't have anything else to say to David. If he can tell me what a woman is, I'll tell him what a Christian is. It's simple as that. Shout out South Wales. Good job, dog. Trump 2025. Hell yeah. Everybody smash the like and subscribe button. And Trump is not deporting any American citizens. Anybody. Thank you. I look like a Trump voter. I really take that as a compliment. If I looked like a Harris voter, I would have pimples, I'd be ugly, or I'd have blue hair, and I'd probably have braces or something, which I'm really glad that I have none of those things. No offense to any Harris voters. Not all of them look like that, but most of them do. If you don't like these rainbow Harris supporters, smash that like and subscribe button. I'm sure lots of you guys will because you really don't appreciate the disrespect. They can't have a intelligent political conversation. To be honest, Trump is the GOAT. Most of us love him in England. Absolutely. England was doing like a celebration protest saying they were pro-Trump. Hey, Frozone was fire, buddy. He's a black guy. I'm not black, but he was a pretty fire-looking character, to be fair. I looked up to him. Like and subscribe. Trump, a beast. Absolutely, guys. Listen, I have nothing wrong with the trans community or the gay community. I just don't think they should be pushing homosexuality or transgender in kids' cartoons. But they can do whatever they want on their free time. I believe in freedom of expression. But I don't want that stuff in kids' cartoons. I don't want any kind of sexuality in kids' cartoons, much less transgenderism and homosexuality. But I have nothing wrong with the gay community or whatever, the LGBTQ. But I just don't want it in kids' cartoons. No kid should be watching sexualized cartoons in the first place. But if anyone wants to debate me about any of Trump's policies or anything I have to say, you can join my Discord. Link is in the bio. Chris, my hands are probably bigger than your head. Leave the kids alone. No sexuality in their cartoons. Thank you. So, David, what's a woman? Still can't tell us. Hey, I appreciate all the support, guys. Well, Trump already has a gag order on him by a judge because the judge is scared that he's going to speak the facts. I don't think so. No Ron Paul. Smash the like and subscribe button, though, guys. Thank you. This guy has 2 grandchildren. He doesn't want any sexuality in their cartoons. That's what his comment was. Hey, Lunchbox! Yeah, I was just explaining to them that Abrego Garcia would never had a regular trial. Like, they're not going to find him guilty or innocent for being in an organized crime like the RICO Act. They just had an immigration hearing for him, and that's the only thing they were supposed to have. That's why Trump said, oh, we'll bring you back. But the president of El Salvador said, no, thank you. We're not going to put a terrorist inside the United States. Like Trump said, the 2028 candidates aren't looking too good. No, these sunglasses are made in Italy, actually. It's Dolce & Gabbana, but thank you. No trials, just deport. No need for trials. I agree with these comments. Controversial opinion, but I don't think they should have an immigration hearing. They should just be deported. Why the hell do they need an immigration hearing if they don't have to be convicted or found guilty of any crimes to be deported? It makes no sense. But as of now, with the current law, they need an immigration hearing, which is not the same thing as a trial. I wish the Democrats could get it through their thick head. Immigration hearings are not the same thing as a trial or a due process. It's not a due process. A due process would be like kind of implies like a fair process. They don't have the same rights as American citizens. That's more than obvious at this point. A Christian is someone that loves God and believes in Jesus. What's a woman? Can you tell us? No, you still can't tell us, David. Too bad. Well, it's not called an immigration trial. It's called an immigration hearing. A trial implies that there would be a jury to find him guilty or innocent, which there is not. I already defined it for you, David. I'm not going to keep saying it, but you can comment that all you want. People are just going to keep clowning you, David. Birds builds. Hey, appreciate you admitting your mistake. A lot of people won't even do that nowadays, especially a debate I had versus a Democrat Harris supporter the other day. They would not admit that Trump's new tax policy that he's trying to implement in 2025, I believe that's already been passed, but it's not implemented in law yet, actually benefits the middle class and the lower class with tax deductions. He started screaming at the top of his lungs like most Harris supporters do. He said, "No, Trump's tax cuts, they only help the rich. No." Even though when I showed it to him, he pretty much admitted he was wrong on the live stream and on the video, but he would not really like admit it in the Discord chat. He just keeps crying and complaining about it. No, the long haired guy, actually, I don't know. Both of them were long haired. Both the liberals that I debated were long hair, so I don't know which one you mean. Maybe the one you're thinking about was the Bernie Sanders debate we had. Trump supporter versus Bernie Sanders supporter. And I just wish we could have stayed on topic a little bit longer and talked more about voter ID. He didn't really want to. He just had to go, but maybe it's my fault a little bit for not staying on topic as well, to be fair. But now he doesn't want to do another live stream debate unless we're talking about climate change, which I'm never going to debate him on that because, first off, I believe in climate change, but I think it's just happening 1,000 times slower than all these news articles that are getting paid to make these articles about. Yeah, if they don't have long hair, they have colored hair. Absolutely. Climate change is my least favorite political topic to debate about for multiple reasons because scientists are always paid to make different research studies, and there's a million different research studies on climate change, and all the opinions differ. So it's not really anything that we're going to be able to disprove or prove or find common ground on. That's an interesting thing. What do I think about the Sheilon Hendricks woman? Well, I'm not saying what she did was right or wrong, but I will say it's very similar to the Carmelo Anthony situation. Except Carmelo Anthony did something way more heinous than a racial slur. Sheilon. Yeah, Carmelo Anthony did something way more heinous than a racial slur. I'll repeat that again. He did something way more heinous than a racial slur. I never said the earth was cooling. I just don't think it's heating up 10 degrees every year. Listen, I don't know if the world is cooling, if it's getting hotter. I think that there's some kind of climate change going on. It's a natural cycle. Remember, we had a huge hole in the ozone layer caused by Donald J. Trump. Pissing off the liberals on a daily. Joe Biden sniffs children. Felon 47 and Felon 48, Donald Trump 2028. What do you mean the economy is crashing? Are you talking about the stock market? It already gained up a little bit. It's already back up quite a bit. If anyone wants to debate me about any of Trump's policies, instead of bitching and whining in the comment sections, they're absolutely welcome to. The Democrats are cowards. Absolute cowards. If you're a Democrat, if you're a liberal and you're not a coward, then join my Discord and let's debate face to face on the live stream tomorrow. What increase in goods? Eggs are cheaper. Gas is cheaper than when Biden was president during years of his administration. Buddy, nobody is here. This is my own place. I've lived by myself for years at this point. Buddy, you don't have these views. How does it feel? Smash the like and subscribe button, guys. John Bellamy is scared to debate me face to face because he's a 12-year-old. And he doesn't want to debate. He's not smart enough to handle a grown man smacking his ass around verbally. You don't have my beautiful hair, man. My beautiful hair. I agree. In terms of stock market, I'm just saying my stock market portfolio is higher than when the tariff started. Absolutely agree. Not what I said, and those comments will not be tolerated on my channel. Peace out. Kicking you out of the chat. Egg prices are down. I took photos every day, and so is gas. Once again, inappropriate comments like that are getting kicked out. Because you are promoting disgusting behavior, basically, which I will not allow in the chats. This is North Korea's comment section. There's no freedom of speech here. I live in America for parts of the year. I just like traveling around the world, and I like making travel videos and travel vlogs and going to different countries. We got a Chinese bot in here. Once again, everyone knows I'm not trans, but much appreciated. Hey, man, I like Coca-Cola, just like Donald Trump. It might be a coli, but Trump. Simple, American. Lightning, you work a job. I'm an American, buddy. I'm an American. Don't you see the hat? Trump is not lonely, and neither am I. Trump is surrounded by a beautiful family. 5 kids. That's a really weird question to ask me. I'm not going to tell you where they are. I do not brag about anything. I'm not a braggish person. Anyone that watches CNN 24/7 should not be calling anyone a sheep. Well, I just said look at my beautiful views. Not bragging. Not bragging. Didn't brag about my sunglasses, just said what they are and where they're from. But if that's considered bragging, then all I said was the facts. Me saying the facts is bragging to you guys because the Democrats have nothing in their life. So that just shows you how empty and void your lives are. Just me saying the facts about my life after you guys asking about them is me bragging. Nice. Absolutely, Jay. Absolutely. You can rent them anywhere. I'm not here to have a bragging competition with you, Jay. And nor do I care even if you did. We're under your guys' tax system. Aha! I love bringing up the Trump tax system. He lowered the taxes for the middle class and the poor. He lowered taxes for every single tax bracket. Corporate taxes, capital gains taxes, poor people's taxes, middle class people that are making $50,000 a year. And the next tax season, they're going to save $3,000 on their taxes. It's not a lie. You want to see the Trump's 2025 tax system? I said, let's debate. You didn't join my Discord because you said you were scared. All of you Democrats and liberals are scared. You don't want to debate me. That's why you won't join the Discord. Correct. The tax break was benefiting the people with the larger incomes the most. That's because the more money you make, the more taxes you pay. If we're talking about actual physical number amount, I'm not talking about the overall percentage. But the facts are, the tax reductions help the middle class and the poor. There is deductions for every single person. And the Democrats are trying to say they only benefit the rich. That's a lie. They benefit everybody. Well, you're not in my Discord yet, so I guess you're too scared to debate, but I'm not going to respond to your comments anymore. If you actually want to debate me, join the Discord and get destroyed. I've destroyed every single Democrat, all the Bernie Sanders supporters, all the Harris supporters. I destroyed every single one of them in the debate. Lunchbox, I would love to see you in the Discord, my buddy. The Discord link is in my bio. Here, I'll show you where it is. I'll show you on my other phone. My old phone. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'll pull it up for you. Yes, Trump pays the taxes that he was legally required to pay. So you go here. You go under links. Oh, not under there. You go under here and Discord. Right there. You join the Discord and we can talk one-on-one. David, you don't know a single thing about business, David. You don't even know what a woman is. David doesn't even know what a woman is, much less does he know anything about a business. Why do I look handsome and you look ugly, George? I don't know. That's an interesting question. I never thought about that too much. I was just happy with the way I looked, George. So I really don't know. John, listen. I've lived with women too before. What I meant was I don't live with mommy and daddy like you do, John. Everyone's calling you out for being a coward, John. You haven't joined the Discord yet. There are friends in my videos. You haven't watched any of them. Go watch my video touring the Capitol. Appreciate you for joining, Dawn. I'm sure I'll see you again. I look at your picture. You're not better looking than me, buddy. That's why you still don't live at home and you don't have a girl. But I ain't here to hit you with the personal debates. I'm here to hit you with the political debates. You haven't joined my Discord. You're too scared. You just want to talk as a keyboard warrior commenting. I'll debate any of you. Anyone that wants to say I can't debate, let's debate. Join my Discord. I've already destroyed 2 liberals to the bone. Nearly had them walking away crying. So I want to debate. Well, it doesn't matter if you're married or not, David. You still can't tell us what a woman is. That's a really scary subject. Are you married to a man then? There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just a question. John looks like a Sasquatch. I agree. I'm only just reading the comments. I'm not here to attack you, buddy. But the comments have spoken. Does not matter if he's married. He could be married to a man. $34 likes. Come on, people. Smash the like button and subscribe. We're really close to 4,000 subscribers. If I can't debate, why won't you debate me since you're so good at it? John, where is yours? You look like a 12-year-old Sasquatch. My Discord is in the link in my bio, guys. All you got to go is in the links. It's under the Kick link and it's under the Twitch link. It's right there. Well, at least Trump got the genders right. Well, if you're too scared to debate, then maybe you should stop being a keyboard warrior. You're just showing the comment section that you're too scared. And you're a coward to show your face and talk face to face. I mean, I have no problem with it. Well, I'm trying to debate you, but you won't message me on Twitter or join my Discord. So how am I going to send you a link so we can debate face to face on my channel? There's no way I can send you an invite to join the debate on here. You have to receive a link so we can debate face to face. That's the whole purpose of you joining my Discord or you joining my Twitter. You don't have to follow me on Twitter even. Just message me. I'll send you a link. We can debate face to face and you'll get smoked. Give a general breakdown of the U.S. Constitution? That's a huge subject. I'm not begging you to debate me. Either you're scared or you're not. You can't even read me off the first paragraph off the top of your head of the U.S. Constitution. How am I going to tell you the entire thing? Well, you've been repeating yourself for the last 15 minutes, acting like a tough keyboard warrior, but you're scared to debate. You won't join my Discord, and you won't message me on Twitter. You're already engaging with my content. You're raising my viewers and my subscribers right now on this live stream. Every single comment you leave here is helping the algorithm. So you can make any excuses you want about not wanting to message me on Twitter. Just admit you're scared and you're a coward. Because that's exactly what you are. Most Democrats are cowards that are scared to debate because they lose every single time. They don't have any common sense. You don't want to debate. Just admit it. You've proven it with your comments. I've never asked for money or a donation one single time. I don't need it from you guys. But I do appreciate you subscribing and liking. Well, even if you're not a Democrat, you're a radical liberal. Either way, let's pull up some of these. Let's pull up some videos and watch some videos about the deportations because we love watching deportations. David, yes, you are. Let's see what this is. Let's see what this is.
Monitor the social media posts and commentary of American citizens to identify them as vectors of disinformation. There's at least one person at this table today who had a dossier in that building of social media posts to identify them as purveyors of disinformation. We are going to turn over these dossiers to the individuals. We know that the best way to combat disinformation is freedom of speech.
Let's check it out.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio revealing the Biden administration's State Department was secretly tracking Americans they believed were, quote, vectors of disinformation. Hello, everyone. I'm Alicia Acuna, along with Guy Benson, Lisa Booth, and Joe Concha. This is a brand new hour of the Big Weekend Show.
You don't know anything about the First and Second Amendment.
Engagement Center, an office within Biden's State Department that kept these dossiers on Americans they believed were spreading so-called disinformation, even keeping a file on a current Trump administration official. Investigative journalist Michael Schellenberger says he may know which Trump administration official was being monitored by the State Department.
RFK Jr.
None of us knew that they had files on specific people. By the way, if I had to bet, I bet actually that file was on Robert F. Kennedy Jr. since he was so heavily targeted and censored. That's the kind of thing you would expect from a political operation, or to actually use where that stuff comes from. It comes from CIA operations abroad where they identify persons of interest.
Let's talk about the illegal crossings. The illegal border crossings have dropped. These no one really knows because how are we going to know how many illegals we're getting past? But around 1,500 to 2,000 reported illegals were crossing the border daily under Joe Biden. Now we're down to 200, 300, 400, 500 daily maximum. Thank you, Donald J. Trump.
American people need to see these documents.
Okay, so Secretary Rubio shut down the Global Engagement Center last month. And joining us now, live for reaction, is State Department spokesperson, you know her well, Tammy Bruce. Tammy, what can you tell us about these dossiers? And was RFK Jr. the Trump official? Well, I can't tell you who was targeted. I do
The
know
libs
that
can't handle. I'm a
what the secretary
Yale.
said during that cabinet meeting was giving that person a chance to speak up if they wanted to because of privacy issues. And also the trajectory of where things like this, files like this.
The Trump derangement
And
syndrome
so I think what's
continues.
important, though, is the realization, really, that this is a bureau, and it was a big deal over the last several years regarding, quote, disinformation, certainly during COVID, and it was ordered to be shut down. The Biden administration was ordered by Congress to shut it down, and what they did instead, Alicia, was to rename it and shuffle people around, and they kept doing it. So when we were speaking, of course, we saw what happened.
Senior, you don't look too healthy. I think you need to go outside for a walk and drink some water, just judging by your profile pic, though.
It's just a horrible environment, and it's certainly not one that is grounded in what's the American value system or what people believe the government should be doing, especially in targeting our own citizens because of some imagined ideas that they may be opposed to are somehow misinformation. Of course, the secretary believes, I think as most Americans do as well, as does the president, that the answer to anything that might be wrong is more speech, is debate, is conversations about these issues. So we've shut that bureau down completely. It's not renamed. We're not shuffling people around. That is ended. And of course, we're not going to stop there. This is a major issue.
Another attack on freedom of speech.
People deserve better, and they're going to get better.
Tammy, it's Guy, and it just sort of blows me away here that they'd be doing this in any element of the executive branch of government, but especially the State Department, which is supposed to be doing diplomacy abroad. Very, very strange and disturbing. So hopefully we'll get those answers soon. On to this, because we have a wide array of topics we want to cover with you, Tammy. The Mexican president has rejected President Trump's offer to use American troops to fight the drug cartels. Watch this.
He said, how can we help you fight drug trafficking? I propose that the United States Army enter to help you. And you know what I told him? No, President Trump. The territory is inviolable. Sovereignty is inviolable. Sovereignty is not for sale. We can collaborate, we can work together, but you on your territory, we on ours.
So, Tammy, is the Trump administration satisfied with that answer? And what
No. She's going to work with Trump or she's going to get the Trump boot. Everyone refuses to work with Trump, but then they get the Trump boot, and then they work.
Not have occurred between our leaders, certainly of President Trump and any other global leader or of any other country. But what I can say is this, is that Mexico actually has been very helpful. They've been a tremendous ally on the issue of dealing with the border. Keep in mind, one of the first things they did at the beginning of President Trump's term was move their own National Guard to the border. I think it was 10,000 troops to the border to assist. And of course, I mean, this is a dynamic that helps them as well. The secretary, his very first trip was to Central America. There's a recognition that our relationship with countries in our area has to be taken seriously on issues beyond the border. These are issues also about trade, the supply chain, the issues of fentanyl, and the nature of what China...
I called you out, John. You were too scared to debate. You just wanted to yap your mouth about the Constitution. We can talk about anything you want to if you join my stream. But you're scared.
It's giving us a lot of new tools in our tool chest, and it also can assist Mexico in having a better argument and the nature of how they can deal with the problems in their own nation and how we can help with that as well, simply by having a better...
Misinformation, Irish boy. Trump put tanks on the border. We're debating if you join my Discord or message my Twitter, yeah. If you're just going to hide on YouTube, then I guess not.
But what we look for, and I believe what certainly President Trump wants, is a good relationship that helps the United States first, but then, of course, that automatically, as you know, helps every other country. When America is strong, our friends and partners are better off, and their nations become stronger and safer as well.
A strong America is a strong region, no question, Tammy. It's Concha, great to see you.
That's right.
I want to get your take on this. Hey, last night, Lady Gaga hosted a record-breaking concert in Brazil. There was over 2 million people.
I don't give a damn about Lady Gaga. Let's skip past that. Yeah, that's all they talk about for the rest of this news clip. I'll debate anybody. Join my Discord. You'll get smoked into oblivion and you'll get embarrassed. And that video will be on YouTube for the rest of your life. That's why you're scared about it. Everyone will be able to look you up and see how dumb you are against my debating prowess and skills. I'm about to end the live, and I'll set up a debate against anyone that wants to. That's in the Discord. I'm going to go for about 10 more minutes, and then we'll set up whoever wants to debate. Apparently, I'll be the judge of that. I guarantee you he's not in there. It's in my link in my bio. You just gotta click on the links, and Discord is right there. I'll debate anybody, even an Irish boy that lives in Ireland. Another instance of a failed immigration in a country, failed immigration system in a country, is Ireland. You are now the ethnic minority in your own country as an Irishman. Okay, well, you're in PA, that figures. PA lost to Trump. They lost the state to Trump. Trump took PA. Don't you remember that? All the Democrats were crying and saying that PA was going to be Harris's state, and then she lost it. She lost PA. You remember that? Yeah, you were a swing state and you lost. Trump won your last election. Pennsylvania? I do lots of debates on my channel, so you can't say I'm not brave enough. I'm going to do one as soon as I end the stream in 5 minutes. I'm going to set one up. I don't hate Ireland. I love Ireland as a country. It's a beautiful place. They're just a failed immigration system and failed politicians in Ireland. Well, not all of Ireland. Maybe that was a little bit of a correct statement. But in some cities in Ireland, they are the ethnic minority. All the libs are mad. All the libs are mad. Well, join my Discord. I promise you, everyone there ends up getting smoked in a debate at one time or another. Yes, I'm a Christian, but that doesn't mean I believe allowing illegal immigration in our country. I love my neighbors and my enemies, but I don't want illegals in my country. Nothing in the Bible says letting illegals rape and murder inside your country when they're undocumented. Nothing says about that. No one's deporting legals. Name one legal person Trump deported. I'm not against anyone's religion. I love Muslims, Jews, whoever. Buddhists, whatever. Luckily, I'm not doing this for your respect, Winter. I've gained the respect about 4,000 subscribers already, so I'm okay if one person doesn't like me. I think I'll survive, but much appreciated. Well, if you enter the country illegally, you're an illegal immigrant. If you apply for asylum and your asylum hasn't been granted, just because you applied for the process doesn't mean you're not an illegal. You still entered the country illegally and you're a criminal. So, No, loving doesn't mean letting a legal rapist into my country. No, thank you. A sojourner or whatever that word is not the same thing as an illegal criminal, rapist, murderer, killer. He's not coming into my country for the next 3 years and 8 months under Donald Trump. They ain't coming. They ain't coming. Deport, deport, deport. I already talked about the due process. They don't go through a regular trial. They don't get found guilty or innocent by a peer of by a jury of your peers. For deportations, they just have to be a concern for public safety or a concern for gang activity or gang organization, and they can get deported. They don't have to be found guilty. All they need is a said this word like 50 times already, so my brain's rotting now. But all they need is a deportation hearing, an immigration hearing. Well, the majority of Americans voted for Trump, so can we all agree that the majority of Americans voted for Trump? Yes or no? They had their due process. Their Fifth Amendment right, their due process was they got they got found, first off, he got 2 deportation orders. Second off, he was a concern for public safety, which is part of the immigration law in the country. If you want me to read the statute for you, I'll pull it up right now, actually, since you guys are crying so hard about it. Let me show you. Hold on. This is also in multiple places. Can you send the immigration statute that says you just have to be suspected of terrorism or a national security threat to have your green card or visa revoked? Yes. U.S. immigration law permits the revocation of visas or green cards based on suspicion of terrorism or national security threats, even without a formal charges or convictions. And the word in the actual law isn't even suspicion, it's concern. So they don't even need reasonable suspicion. Well, it's only innocent until proven guilty, probably for United States citizens that are, legal citizens, not on green cards. They just need suspicion of terrorist activity or a threat against the national security. I didn't write the immigration law. I'm just reading you what the immigration law is. It's the Immigration and Nationality Act, 237A4. Look it up. Removal of a permanent residence, green card holders, visa holders, if they are a threat to national security, such as terrorist activity, terrorist organizations, endangerment to public safety. No conviction or trial needed. The only due process he was needed was an immigration hearing. That's exactly why Trump said he would send him back. But the president of El Salvador said, no, we're not sending him back. He's part of a terrorist organization. We're not doing that. The only process he would have is an immigration hearing, which is not the same thing as a trial. I just read you the Immigration Act, the immigration policy. Look it up yourself. I showed it to you. 8 U.S. codes, 112, deportable aliens. Read this. The only due process or the only process they need is an immigration hearing, which I wouldn't consider a due process. No one's scared to do business with America, buddy. Anyway, I'm leaving this. First off, he's an El Salvadorian citizen. So where do you want him to be sent? Mexico? Second off, nothing about the law says anything about where he can be sent or where he can't be sent. Anyway, hit the like and subscribe button, guys. Hopefully some of you guys join my Discord so we can have a live debate. And I'm going to be checking. I would love to debate with you. Okay, I accidentally muted. Yeah, if you did debate chat GPT, it's probably going to prove you wrong. You're a coward too, Sion. You're too scared to debate me. I hope to see you in the Discord. Anyway, peace out. Hope you guys hit the like and subscribe button. I'm not running. I answered all your hard questions. You want to ask me one more question? I read you the immigration statute. You don't want to look it up because you're scared that it's true. I won the debate. I won every single debate on the channel so far. I'm a legal immigrant. Good night, guys. Goodbye.